this dot represents you, and you can be anywhere in space and time. This dot helps you find your way around when you are enjoying your most recent interactable experience. When put in context, it helps you navigate unknown lands or newly discovered areas. So, how do we game developers build a map? How do we make a map for a game in development? The question becomes harder when you are in production, because you want players to test the game and also have a way to navigate around. Otherwise, you might find yourself with a lot of feedback saying that they felt lost, because the world is big and, well, you can't blame them if your game doesn't have a map, which is intentional in some games, and some people enjoy it, the feeling of lost. But for most, like myself, a map is a blessing. Not that I get lost easily, but I find it calming knowing that I can find my way back easily. And I don't know how other developers did it, but I can show you how we solved this problem in Rabbids Tale. Because you see, Rabbids Tale, it's a Metroidvania game with an open world ready to be explored, and it's easy to get lost in. And the way I see it, there's three types of maps. Either they are hand-drawn, or procedurally generated, or a mix of both. Then there's the level of accuracy. How accurate are they? Sometimes they are vague, sometimes they are an approximation of what's there. Sometimes they can be even sketches. But on the other hand, sometimes they are precise, as if they were made by an architect. We see this in a lot of games. There's a combination of hand-drawn but not very accurate. Then there's hand-drawn but a bit more accurate, like Hollow Knight or Ori. There's even memorable places carved into the map, places that the player has seen while playing the game and instantly can identify them on the map. And then there's procedurally generated maps, and by that I mean something like Blasphemous, where it's square, or maybe Ender Lilies, which is also squarey. Sometimes the map shows you the entire world already as soon as you get it. Other times they only show you certain areas that you have explored, which is Fog of War. Or maybe the game lets you buy certain parts of the map, but they all have certain parts in common. They all intend to guide the player through and have points of interest. They guide the player and they have points of interest. So technically speaking, how did we build a map for Rabbids Tale? Well, we faced a couple of problems. First, we wanted something appealing and not too squarey. We wanted something almost hand-drawn, but with some precision. I like maps that are precise and not too vague. But since the game was in development, and it still is, the scenarios that exist might suffer changes based on feedback. So something hand-drawn would be too hard to maintain and update. But hand-drawn is visually more appealing. So we need something that was easy to maintain and update. And since we want a precision in our map, maybe something procedural, something generated by code would be easier. So we combined both the hand-drawn appeal with the precision of a map generated by code. And it turned out to be even simpler than that. Because since the ground, the ceiling, the walls are done, why don't we use them to generate the map itself? So we tested this hypothesis by duplicating the existing ground, the walls and the ceiling, and add them to a new layer, basically the map layer. This new layer is only rendered by the map camera, and the map camera is only enabled when we open the map. And with a black background, this is what we get at this point. Not too bad, and since it is a sprite shape, we can change the color of the line and have no fill, and each color would represent a different biome, a different area. And the great part is that we created a tool to generate this map based on the current colliders of the game, the ground, the walls and the ceiling, and once we press a button, this is what we get. And just like that, we had a map that was flexible and pretty good looking. It just needs a bit of cleanup, since the colliders of the ground and the wall will go all the way around the frame. And the final trick was to take screenshots of the existing frames and using them as the background. Then, with a few shader tricks, I mean, this channel is all about visual effects. If there wasn't some shader shenanigans, I wouldn't be called Gabriel Aguiar. And boom, this is the result we get. After putting everything together, it was pretty decent, right? All that was missing now was the locations, the points of interest, like where is the save tree, where are the stores, and so on. And since this map is rendered on a scenario, using UI elements would be harder. So the trick here was to place objects directly on the map that would represent the UI elements on the map. This way, every time you zoom in and zoom out, the UI elements are still the same size, and we can create a legend for that to know what each one represents, and they work as buttons as well. So in the end, I think it's a great map, and it actually came out better than we expected. And knowing all the parts of game development, this one was a peculiar one that not that many people talk about, especially on how are these maps made, because they are quite interesting and they are so crucial for the player. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, I hope you learned something new. Don't forget to wishlist Rabbit's Tale. It's still in development, but it's coming out great, and it would mean a lot to us, and just by wishlisting you are already helping. So thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.